Hey guys, Coco here with another skate chat. Yeah, I'm here today with another skate chat, and I don't know, I'm really nervous to make this video because I think there's gonna be a lot of negative backlash. Yeah, but I feel like this topic just needs to be discussed. It just needs to be discussed. I guess let's go ahead and just get into it. So we're just going to talk about reasons why I personally think beginner skaters shouldn't start roller derby in the beginning of their skate journey. So I'm just going to put a disclaimer right here before I even get into this, because I think this might be a touchy topic. And look guys, this is just my own personal opinion. And this is mainly going off of me teaching skating and also to skating pretty much my whole life. And now that I'm starting to teach more and more and more newer students that are just getting comfortable with skating, I'm realizing that a lot of the issues that I'm having getting them to change is mainly roller derby related. But this is just my opinion. These are just my theories. And if you're gonna get mad, just think it's just roller skating. And not in a condescending type of way, but instead in a sense of like, I'm not the roller skate police, and maybe you're not either. Just saying. So these are just my thoughts, and I felt compelled to make a video about this because this is my number one question that I get, besides how long have I been skating for, which is another video I'm gonna have to make, obviously. All right, let's just go ahead and get into it. This is gonna be an awkward topic for me, but let's just go ahead and get into it. So the first reason why I feel beginners shouldn't be going to derby for their first skating experience is because I personally feel it doesn't take any real skating skills. And now I know that's really fucked up to say. It is. It's hard for me to even say it. It's hard for me to even say it, but yeah. And the reason why I feel that it doesn't take any real skating skills is because a lot of stuff that's going on in derby doesn't have much to do with your feet. So it's more so upper body, and you're more relying on getting to a goal rather than a technique or something looking clean or something looking smooth. So I just don't think that there's opportunities during derby to create your craft in skills, techniques, and details when it comes to roller skating style and skills. That's just a small thought for that point. Again, if you disagree, that's totally fine. Hey, you can even let me know in the comments why you disagree with how I feel. So I'm totally all in. And yeah, let's just move on to topic 2. I feel like people in derby don't get the opportunity to learn how to fall properly. And what I mean by how to fall properly, in roller derby, you're taught to fall, forward. So you're falling on your hands, on your knees, and you're falling forward. And most of the time, your energy in general is forward because you're constantly going forward. You're constantly going forward. And you even lean forward before you even start to skate. And, that's normal. But if you're trying to transition to outdoor skating, it is most of the time not a good idea to fall forward. And the whole definition of how to fall properly, I think, is for another video. But just for this particular point, when you're outside skating, you want to learn how to fall to the sides, even the back, versus falling forward, because this is kind of like your money makers are in the front. You know, your face, your teeth, your eyeballs, palms of your hands, you know, your elbows and your knees, and you don't want to injure those parts. So that's why you want to have the skill of learning how to fall in alternate positions when skating outdoors. But what I've been looking at and what I've been noticing within derby players of my students that I teach is that they're always falling forward. Like, I cannot get them to stop falling forward. And then that creates a attachment to their gear. And I don't think there's anything wrong with wearing gear. I personally do not wear gear unless I'm in a bowl. That's also for another video that I'll talk about. But yeah, so you're constantly dependent on your gear, which is totally fine. But sometimes, you know, you don't always have your gear. And it's like, if you only learn how to fall forward and you seem to have a hard time learning how to fall other ways, I just think it's going to hinder you as an outdoor skater being able to, be versatile in falling. And also too, in bowls, you need to be versatile in learning how to fall in a bowl as well, because falling forward in a bowl works sometimes, but not for every situation. The reason why I feel strongly about this particular point is because most of the students that I have coming from roller derby have this issue when I try to reteach them how to fall. This is one of their biggest issues that they have with me and that I've experienced. Of course, again, this is not the all be all, in my opinion. Really doesn't matter unless you want it to. I just don't want people being mad at me for my opinions, because that's all they are opinions. And I'm not the skate police. Okay, so point number 3. And point number 3 is kind of more of a humanity flaw versus something that doesn't necessarily have to do with roller derby. And it's more so that, in general, shit is just hard to unlearn, right? Like, as humans, it's often hard and challenging to unlearn something. And I feel like if you start roller derby as a beginner skater and you want to transition to like outdoors and bowls, I think it's really difficult that you're gonna have to relearn how to skate. And I know it sounds drastic, like relearning how to skate, but this is just how I feel. And with my students that I have, they've also had to, in theory, relearn how to skate if they were only skating indoors, or if they were only a derby skater. And now they wanted to expand, you know, on their skate disciplines and try new things. And they literally had to relearn how to skate. And what I mean by relearning, it's more so like adapting. You know, you want to try and take the skills that you have and then like try to adapt them to something else. But it's really difficult to adapt something as aggressive as roller derby to street skating, because you can't be as aggressive. You can't always be leaning forward. You know, you can't always be willing to fall on your knees. You can't be willing to always, you can't be willing to be ready to sacrifice your body every time you fall. And this is something I think can be extra challenging to learn as a roller skater if all you know is derby, if you're starting off as a derby skater. And even me personally, when I first started transitioning from indoors, because I was an indoor skater, naturally that's how I learned how to skate, and then transferring to outdoors, you know, there was like some learning curves going on. And it was the same thing, like, You just have to, you have to be more careful. Inside you have a little bit of room for like fuck ups or something like this, or a bad fall, but outside little fuck ups can be really bad falls, and really bad falls can be, possibly super injuring. A lot of the times the people that are coming to me and want to learn other aspects of skating are really good in derby. Like maybe they're a jammer, or they're just really good in whatever position they play, and they're very comfortable on their skates. They've accelerated quickly in roller derby, so they're just really comfortable on their skates. Maybe they're just like pow 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 pow. Like, I got this here. Like, I'm ready to move on to bigger and better skating things. That's awesome. That's how I felt when I went into jam skating and bowl skating. So I completely understand this passion for like skate shit. But the thing is, when these students are coming to me and, we're working together and, weeks go by and things like this, and they're wondering why they're not progressing as quickly as they did in roller derby. And this goes back to my theory one, where I feel like it doesn't really take like much skating skills to be able to excel quickly in roller derby. Like if you have good balance and stuff like this, but when it comes to skating skills and technicalities and like, steps on how you're able to put moves together, I just think that that's just not really taught in roller derby. But it's just my personal opinion. I feel like I keep having to say that. Woo! But yeah, and often my students that are really good in roller derby, when they try to cross over, sometimes they get very, very frustrated that they have not accelerated as quickly as they did in roller derby. Yeah, so it's kind of like you learned how to drive, you got your driver's license, and then you're like, oh my God, I want to learn how to drive like a manual. But you got a driver's license in an automatic. And then you got to learn how to drive all over again. But do you learn how to drive? It's something like this. I can go on and on about it, but I'm going to spare you guys that time. If anybody is still watching this, because I feel like everybody's going to hate me after this video. Again, the only reason why I'm making this video, because I get so many questions about this topic. And so many new skaters think that you have to be a roller derby skater in order to start roller skating, and or be a roller derby skater before you can become a good skater. And this is just not true. Let's get this video done. Okay, and point number 5. It's not the least important. However, I feel like a lot of the times in the newer skater community, this is a topic that kind of just goes by the wayside. And you know what? It could be cultural. It could just be like personality-wise. And I think it all depends on the person and the passion the person has for, how they want to express themselves. So maybe style doesn't matter for some people. In the skating community that I grew up in, which I grew up in a huge Black American skate community in Los Angeles. I learned how to skate at World of Wheels, and like it's all about style and like finding yourself and finding like your groove and your flow. And I think that a lot of people are assimilating roller derby with the beginning of skate culture, but that's not the case. And I'm actually going to make a whole nother video on that, because I think that is a topic to be talked about, only because so many new skaters are coming in from around the world and seeing roller derby as like the beginning end all of all skating. In reality, there's a whole subculture of skating in Black America that has brought it to the evolution that it is today. I'm so passionate about that, but that's for another video. However, I digress, and I say all that to say number 5, style. I feel like when I get my roller derby students, they don't even often think about style, or maybe not consciously. And this is something that I constantly have to teach in my classes with them, and encourage them that it's okay to like bring out your arms. It's okay to move your hips more. It's okay to maybe roll your neck, and it's okay to stagger your legs. You know, everything doesn't have to be so tight and compact. And I know that's how it is in roller derby, because you're constantly moving in an aggressive way, and you're not necessarily emotionally thinking of something like, oh, soft and like dainty, or like funky and edgy. You're thinking of just like really executing the position. And I really think that if you start skating and derby is your first introduction to skating, for especially for a long period of time, it will be more challenging to like grab your style, to not be so robotic, and stop thinking of everything needs to be hard, and more of flowing. Now, of course, I have seen people be able to change this up, but it's taken a lot of practice. And you know, these 5 points, like, they're so like vague, and they're just only my theories, and that doesn't mean that they're right. It's just that I've been teaching for a few years now, and the more and more this community is growing, the more and more students I'm getting, you know, the more and more questions I'm asking, and the more and more new people are coming in like month after month, which is amazing. But the gateway that is bringing in a new wave of skaters is roller derby, which is great. But the thing that people should think about when they start to roller skate is, hey, what type of roller skating would I be interested in? And I think that if you do want to play roller derby, you should definitely do that. But maybe if you know you want to be in other type of roller skating disciplines, go ahead and like take a ramp skating along at the same time of when you're learning roller derby. I mean, you don't have to be dropping into ramps, but you can still like learn how to pump, learn how to pivot, things like that. Like, there's other things you can do besides just roller derby. Another example, if you want to be like a street skater and be like down and dirty in the streets, then maybe you should take like a street skating class. I don't want to say that roller derby is bad for beginners, because I'm sure there's people that have started out, you know, doing roller derby and they have great style. Maybe I don't know those people. I don't know. But you know what the thing is? I feel like if you're gonna start skating, just think about what type of skater you want to be. And maybe I'll do a video on that, because I don't want to discourage anybody from doing any type of background skating they want. And what I mean by background skating, like any type of skating discipline, you know, that you want to take. It's just that this is a question I get so often, and I strongly feel this way. But who cares what I think, really? Like, I'm only making this video because people really wanted it, but that's all. But again, really, like, genuinely do what the fuck you want to do and take what kind of classes you want. Who gives a fuck with, I think. But if you're going to ask me, this is my motherfucking opinion, and if you don't like it, can you still just give me a thumbs up? Because there's not that many roller skating videos out, and you should still support my channel because I love you guys. Well, that is it for this super unpopular opinion topic. I'd like to know what everybody thinks, though. Like, maybe you guys agree with me, maybe you don't. Please let me know your thoughts in the comments. Just try to be respectful. Like, I don't want to bash anybody, and I don't want anybody bashing anybody else in the comments. But, like, we could start a conversation. We could talk about it. Tell me your thoughts. Tell me you hate me. Tell me you love me. Tell me everything. But tell me down in the comments. I guess that's it. And thank you so much. And I'll see you guys in the next video.